represent Solomon Island people say. We people start originally from my homeland. Like my old man said, there's nothing impossible. So we have to bring this message to my brother lyrical. Straight from the crew, out to the blue. We represent the voices of my ancestors calling. And I was getting more and my culture is falling. Now we have a step up for the past 20 calling.
Now when this stuff, ain't nobody gonna stop us. People, everybody, would you listen to us for a start? No point complaining in this we partaking. We represent the cause of the ones falling.
Previously on Delos, we left Manila, went on an African safari, and did some amazing wreck diving.
So we're really excited because in just a couple hours we'll finally be in El Nido after about a week of sailing from Coron. But we've spent the last couple nights in this just awesome anchorage, beautiful beach, crystal clear water, and we even picked up a little hitchhiker to take with us for the ride.
Meet Otto. We rescued him from the beach, and a few VHF calls later, we found his owner in El Nido. So we had a third crew member for the short sail south.
All these kind of limestone islands and beaches, and as soon as you get away from the little villages, there's really not much out here, so I'm kind of excited to go explore some of these sites and see if we can find a nice little beach to chill out for a few days.
We dropped Otto at home, which happened to be our friend Kareem's catamaran, and set out to explore. El Nido is a pretty remote place. Nearly all the islands are uninhabited because of the towering limestone cliffs. From hundreds of feet up, they drop straight into the water. Not so good for building houses, but absolutely perfect for a cruising boat. So we were taking it real slow, just island hopping and exploring random places that look cool on the chart. Sailing a few miles, finding another breathtaking spot, staying for a while, then repeating, over and over with no purpose and no destination. The weather was really calm, and each anchorage seemed more spectacular than the last. Sometimes we'd take the dinghy out on exploring missions to small, desolate beaches, or explore the maze of inlets formed by the limestone islands. Around every corner was something new and exciting. Occasionally we'd make a bad call and wake up to a sea of orange-vested tourists floating around Delos. But we learned the Banca routes pretty quickly, and staying just a little bit off the beaten path made all the difference in the world. In the afternoon, when the sun was beating down, we'd start to explore underwater. We were pleasantly surprised to find vibrant, healthy coral, and some decent-sized trevally as well.
Gonna anchor at this little island beach here.
And then one day we found it, our own little island. We'd been chilling at this little island for a few days now. In the heat of the day, we'd set up camp under the shade of the cliffs, taking dips in the water to cool off.
Look at this one.
It was a beachcomber's paradise, and the sand was just that perfect consistency. Not so fine that it clings to everything, and not so coarse that it's too rough on the feet. just right. Sometimes a set of circumstances come together so perfectly that you just have to smile and breathe it in. We were here in the Philippines, in the exquisite El Nido, in an island where if you saw a footprint, you knew it was your own. The seas were calm, but every now and then a squall would roll through to cool things off. But it was the dry and windless season, so mostly the weather was all you could hope for. Except for the heat. I remember things being out of control hot during the day. It's funny how even when cruising, sometimes you're forced to slow down even more than normal. We were here between the monsoons, which meant there wasn't a lick of wind to be found. Even if we wanted to move on and head south, we couldn't. We needed to wait for the winds to return, for the monsoon to change. So we were content here in our own little world. As long as our provisions held out, we would stay, just allowing the days to melt together.
It's so hot. It's like unbelievably hot. And the boat is like radiating, like collecting heat, so you can't stand on the deck. It's just almost a little bit awful. So now we have decided we're not gonna sit in this hot box anymore. We're gonna go for a dive, cool off a little bit, and then probably just lay in the water for the rest of the afternoon.
So it turns out that diving right under Delos was fantastic. There was great viz and a healthy reef just off the stern. It wasn't long before the endless afternoons got the best of us, and we immersed ourselves in a project to create an underwater camera mount.
The water viz is just awesome here, and we've been here a couple days, so we created this tripod out of some old stuff we had on the boat. Our real goal is to get like a slow motion starfish crawl across the seabed, so let's go give it a shot.
The mount itself worked pretty good. Too bad our subject, the starfish, decided to take a breather for a while. We also stocked a family of clownfish, who acted way more natural without us hovering around. Occasionally we'd brave the daytime heat on Delos and take care of a few chores.
So I'm just doing the stop motion for one of our videos, and it's exciting. We're ready to start photographing.
While Karen was working on some stop motion action, I decided to do a few tasks of my own.
It's time to do some of the less pleasant tasks. Cleaning the gray water filter, which is basically the pump for the sinks and the showers, which can get quite disgusting.
Sink grease and hair and food, and it smells kind of like you would imagine it to be.
So up next is the filter for the water maker, and when we run this in water that has a lot of algae in it, it gets clogged up and turns black. So run the hose like that, and we can hopefully use this filter for a while longer.
Our bottom paint is now completely worn away, so scraping the crap off is a major task. I really should do this every 2 weeks, but sometimes time gets away from me. This time I let it go a whole month.
So it is really, really, really hot, and we've had enough.
and I'm fixing the air conditioning. So I hope it works. It's really fucking heavy. Ugh. Last step. Oh. I'm sure it's just fine. And it was. It worked beautifully.
So we've been at this lovely beach for a few days now, and we've done like numerous dives, and it's been so amazing because it's like a stone throw away from all the bunker craziness on the other islands, and here we are, and it's nobody here. It's like just us, and it's been really, really cool. It's relaxing, working on videos, hanging out at the beach. And now all our food is gone, so we kind of have to head over to Coron and just provision a little bit, and then I think we're gonna start to move north. Let's pick up the anchor.
I felt a little shell-shocked to be in civilization again, especially on the beach with its endless stalls hawking tours. So we retreated to the sleepier, local part of town for a provisioning mission. Stocked up on veggies and with a forecast for a little breeze, we were ready to set sail for Puerto Princesa. Not much wind. We're only able to do maybe 2 knots, and then there's like 3 or 4 knots of breeze, and it is ridiculously hot. Later in the afternoon, we could feel a change in the weather coming. Clouds were rolling in, and the breeze was picking up, so we decided to anchor for the night.
About 5.5 miles away from our anchorage. Right there. Then we're gonna stay tonight.
Here it comes. Looks gnarly. Been able to hear it coming before. It's crazy. Free fresh water. Oh yeah.
So it looks like the squall we had yesterday wrapped us around a coral head, so we're not able to get the anchor up, so gotta go down and have a look.
The plan was for Karen to wait 3 minutes, then drive Delos forward to ease the tension on the anchor chain. It only took me about 10 minutes to untangle the mess.
So yeah, we were able to get the anchor up without too much problems. It was actually pretty nice down there, good coral, and it kind of sucks when that happens because you don't want to damage the coral, but it happened to be the only bommy like within a big sandy patch that we set in, so kind of sucks, but it didn't really hurt anything too bad. But now we have wind finally after like days and days of no wind or flaky wind, so it's a pretty constant like 10 or 15 knot breeze, and we're actually making almost 7 knots, just over 7 knots, and it's awesome. It feels so good to be sailing again, so hopefully it'll hold up until we get to Puerto Princesa.
This is like more wind than we have had in a very long time. And of course we're heading straight into it, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but we're going about 7 knots, so we're doing good.
Exhausted? Sailing upwind is tough business.
We left this overnight anchor here about 6 hours ago, and we sailed all the way over here. We're going at a good speed though, about like 7 knots all the time. The only problem is that we want to go here. Okay, Brian, what's going on?
We're caught in a gnarly squall. It came up on the radar. It's like 35 knots, raining. Look at it. It's just crazy. So we took down the sails. Good thing we did because it hit us really hard. And now we're just trying to kind of heave to and wait for it to pass over us, but it's awful.
They went from like 8 knots to like 35 in 10 minutes. Not even that.
I think we're almost through to the other side though. I can see the horizon again.
Oh yeah. I just woke up taking a little nap. It's
It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's been a really rough night. A lot of wind, no wind, squalls, a lot of weird tacking. Still beating into it with a lot of wind. So we'll get there, hopefully today.
Getting our asses kicked every turn. We just had 25 knots from the northwest, which pushed us too far south. And then when we got too far south, then there was 25 knots from the southwest, which pushed us back the other way. And then there was like 20 knots from the west, which is exactly where we need to go. So, just been getting fucked. This whole trip, it's taken us 30 hours to go 88 miles, which normally we would do in like 12 hours or something. So it's been trying, I guess. But only 10 miles to go, so like another 3 hours or something. Ugh. I'm hungry and tired. I hope they have a McDonald's. What? A quarter pounder with cheese. I haven't had one in months.
You finally see some land out there.
It was a brutal sail, but we finally made it to Puerto Princesa, our last stop in the Philippines. Up next, we pick up some new crew, check out of the Philippines, and set sail to Malaysia with a stop at Tubataha Reef.
Baby, you got something, it don't come easily. Yeah, I want a little bit of your peace, loving the honey from a killer bee. You got to go get it. Whoa, baby, you got something, yeah, don't come easily. Yeah, I want a little bit of your peace and love, and honey from a killer bee. You got to go get it. You got to go and take it. You gotta go. Baby, you got something, yeah, don't come easily. Yeah, I want a little bit of your peace and love, and honey from a killer bee. You got to go get it.
Let's go check it out.
Let's go check it out. Woo!
Woohoo! Woohoo! Woohoo!
So we're really excited because in just a couple hours we'll finally be in El Nido after about a week of sailing from Coron. But we spent the last couple nights in this just awesome anchorage, beautiful beach, crystal clear water, and we even picked up a little hitchhiker to take with us for the ride.
My old man said there's nothing impossible, so we have to bring this message to my brother lyrical. Straight from the crew, out to the blue. We represent the voices of my ancestors calling, and I was getting more my culture is falling. Now we have a step up for the past 20 calling.
Once down with this stuff, ain't nobody gonna stop us. People, everybody, would you listen to us for a start? No point complaining, and that's we partaking. We represent the cause of the ones falling.
Previously on Delos, we left Manila, went on an African safari, and did some amazing wreck diving.
originally from my homeland. Like
Meet Otto. We rescued him from the beach. And a few VHF calls later, we found his owner in El Nido. So we had a third crew member for the short sail south.
All these kind of limestone islands and beaches, and as soon as you get away from the little villages, there's really not much out here, so kind of excited to go explore some of these sites and see if we can find a nice little beach to chill out for a few days.
We dropped Otto at home, which happened to be our friend Kareem's catamaran, and set out to explore. El Nido is a pretty remote place. Nearly all the islands are uninhabited because of the towering limestone cliffs. From hundreds of feet up, they drop straight into the water. Not so good for building houses, but absolutely perfect for a cruising boat.